This is long, but it's something I needed to get off of my chest. My husband, 36 male, and I, 36 female, have been together for 16 years and married for 14. We have 2 daughters who are 13 and 12. About 3 months ago, I cheated on him with my coworker once and immediately regretted it. To be honest, I still haven't figured out the real reason I cheated. On the surface level, the reason would be that my husband was too caught up with work for a couple of months, and I felt neglected and unappreciated at times. I know that isn't the real reason, so I'm trying to figure out what is through individual counseling. I only cheated on him that one time and immediately told him the next day because I couldn't bottle up my guilt and shame. He was shocked at first, but then went on to call me the most horrid names. I deserved it. I deserved a lot more than that. I don't even know how it got to the point of me sleeping with my coworker. It started with innocent flirting, and before I knew it, I made the worst mistake of my life by sleeping with him. I wish I'd gotten hit by a car that day before sleeping with him. I cut off all contact with my coworker and gave up my phone to my husband. I wanted to reassure him that I was willing to make this work on his terms, whatever they were, as long as he would give me another chance. Even though in my heart, I knew that I wanted another chance to prove myself, I told him that I would understand if he went through with the divorce. Anyways, I told my husband that I would do anything to regain his trust and express my sorrow and regret for having hurt him so much. My husband has always been the type of guy to give a person only one chance. Even in his friendships, if the trust had been broken, he wouldn't give the other person another chance. He said that he wanted a divorce, but then the whole quarantine thing happened, and he stayed in the house for about 2 months and didn't proceed with the divorce. For the first month, he treated me very coldly, and the only time we talked was when it had to do with our daughters. I slept on the couch and tried to give him as much space as he needed, and only reminded him from time to time that if he ever wanted to work things out, I'd be more than willing to, and would be completely devoted to the process of him working things out. He even said some spiteful things during that month, and distanced himself from me completely. During the second month, there was a change as he began talking to me again. We talked about daily stuff and even watched movies together with the girls as a family. I felt like he wanted to try reconciling, and I was so happy. I was thrilled that there might be a chance to save my family, to save us. Eventually, through the next couple of days, I could sense us becoming friends all over again. He even invited me to sleep on the bed again. It was really working out, and I reminded him that he could talk about anything he wanted with me. A couple of weeks passed by, and we were getting along even better. We were spending time as a family again and had gotten closer with each other as well. I felt really good about the way things were going, but I wish I'd suggested marriage counseling. I just didn't want to pressure him and have him think that I wanted to sweep this situation under the rug, or that I was trying to influence him to not divorce me. One night, we were drinking and just talking in our bedroom, and I felt a genuine connection rebuilding. It felt like we were falling for each other all over again, and it made me so happy. This is the part I regret now. I decided to make a move on him and straddled him while we were laughing at a joke. We looked each other in the eyes, and so naturally I began making out with him. It honestly felt like we were 20 all over again. He kissed me back as well, but after a while he just started crying. He told me to stop and said that he couldn't. I felt so awful because I felt like he wanted to, but didn't at the same time. It broke my heart to directly see just how badly my stupid decision had hurt him. I told him that I was sorry, and we went to sleep. The reason I say I regret doing this is because I feel like this moment pushed him away forever. 2 days later, he informed me that he wanted to go through with a divorce. He said that he just doesn't think he could make it work, even after trying for the last 2 months. I wanted to fight with him about it, but I just told him that I understood. We had already decided before that if a divorce was to happen, it would be on fair terms. Sure, we'd both have lawyers, but we agreed on a lot of the stuff together. He wanted to take a 2-week trip, but would come back to pick up the girls after his trip. We both mutually agreed that we'd split the time with the girls. After his trip, they would spend half of the week with him and the other half with me. I even helped him pack up his stuff, and when we finished, I just bawled my eyes out and we hugged it out. After his 2 weeks trip, he came back, and it felt good seeing him again, but I knew it wasn't the same. He just smiled, and we made small talk before he took the girls. We're both really good parents and want the best for our kids. Today, I got served divorce papers. It hurts so much to know that I lost my best friend because I was stupid. Sometimes I roll over to his side of the bed in the morning, and I hate how I don't feel his body there anymore. I miss his smell, his smile, his voice. I miss him filling up the entire room with his loud, adorable laugh. I miss him so much. The thing that hurts me the most in all of this is knowing how badly I hurt the person I love the most. I wish I could go back in time and undo what I did, but I can't. So now, here I am writing about it on Reddit while crying, when there's nothing that I can do about it. I wish I could let him see for himself what I genuinely feel in my heart about how sorry I am and about how I would be the most devoted wife ever if he just gave me another chance. To let him know just how much I love him and that I'd literally do anything for him. I messed up the most perfect thing that ever happened to me. I wish I could get him back, but I know that I lost him forever. My 43 male ex-wife, 42 female, wants to come back 3 years after leaving me and the kids. 3 years ago, my wife was planning on cheating on me with another man. I saw some of the signs and caught them sexting. She felt like our life wasn't what she wanted. We divorced, and she ended up leaving for the other man. Our 3 kids, now 15 male and twins 12 female at the time, felt abandoned. I got the house and sole custody of the kids, and she didn't make much effort to see the kids. Granted, they didn't want to see her and were quite vocal about it. Since then, the kids seem to be doing better, but still, I feel like they miss their mom, especially my younger twin boy. I've seen my ex-wife a handful of times since then, and I've moved on in the sense that I've slept with other women since then, but I'm not dating and don't plan on it until the kids are all done with high school at least. Recently, I learned the man my wife ran off with is now a bankrupt alcoholic abuser. She left him and went back to living with her parents. She came over this weekend when the kids were with my brother at his cottage and talked with me, basically pleading for me to take her back. How she made a mistake and lost her savings, the money from the divorce, her kids. She wants to work towards us getting back together and raising our kids together. I listened to her, but I didn't really say much, and she left back for her parents' house. The whole situation has my head spinning. On one hand, I want her back so much, and I think with time, the kids would appreciate having their mom back. The other women I've been with are good, but there's always a feeling of something missing. But also, I wonder if she only came back because that man became what he is today. Even if we get back together, I don't plan on getting married to her. At least not right away, and if we did, there would definitely be a prenup. I do want her to stay with her parents and slowly integrate herself back into my and my kids' life. There's also the problem that I don't know if I can even accept her. Part of me looks at her as used goods. I know that's bad. We probably need both couples and family therapy. Thinking about the future right now is difficult. I have so many variables to account for. If she left again, what kind of damage would that do to the kids or myself? I just came on here to gain an outsider's perspective. I will give as much information as anyone would like, but the TLDR is that my wife met a woman, brought her into our life under the agreement of polyamory, and when I decided I couldn't handle it, we began to fight, and my wife chose the woman over me. This all started about a month ago and moved so much quicker than I ever thought was possible. They are now living in our house together while I rent an apartment. The divorce is dragging because my wife wants all 3 of us to live together in some sort of poly-triad while I work through my feelings. My lawyer and my therapist are the only things keeping me from going completely insane at this point.